Yes, now we go to the last one, which is the social and financial assistance. Of course, the situation of COVID, the situation of employment, unemployment, the pressure of controls, documentation, they all, you know, make a whole combination of stress to our kababayan, to our fellow Filipinos. But maybe Alessandro, can you tell us what are the financial and social assistance that are available out there?
Alors, basically, there is two kinds of financial support possible. One from official from the state, and one other, let's call private, from the association.
Okay, what's the difference between them? Of course, we all know government and private, but can you elaborate a bit on this?
Okay, let's start from the official one. In Geneva, the official welfare, the official social help from the state called Hospice Général. And the Hospice Général, it's only for who have a permit or for who is in process. There is no help from Hospice Général for who don't have a permit, for undocumented, okay? This is the first thing. The second thing, it was always quite dangerous to ask help from Hospice Général because it could be a problem for renewing the permit. As you remember, one of the documents you have to show is the attestation of Hospice Général that so that you are independent, that you don't depend from their help. Now there is something special during the COVID crisis. There is a decision, a federal decision that say that applying for assistance from social welfare in this time of sanitary crisis will not make suffer prejudice or affect the renewal or acquisition of your permit. This is the official communication of the state. So it means, for example, if you have a permit but you lose everything, you have the right to ask the help of Hospice Général. Theoretically, there is no problem for renewing. In fact, the problem is at that, as I explained before, it takes a lot of time. And it's sure that for the people that are in official social helps, it will take more times. Because a lot of times the Office Contrôle de la Population, they say they wait that you find a job again. So it can be a solution, but it's a quite difficult solution. And the other fact that it makes that difficult is that to get help from Hospice Général, you have to prove everything. For example, you have to prove the amount of the rent of the place where you live. But we know that the majority of the people don't have a contract. Even if they have a permit, it takes a lot of time to find something officially on your name. So no proof, no help. So at the end, it's a long and difficult way, but it's important to know that it exists. Okay? If you are in a situation to make the request of this kind of help and you have a problem for renewing the permit, go to see us.
Okay, sige. So, malinaw na ang gobyerno, ang estado, sa pamamagitan ng Hospice General, ay handang tumulong at pinaliwanag nga ni Alessandro, ito ay para sa mga may permit o sa mga in process. No? So, of course, sinasabi niya rin na mahalaga, of course, yung mga hinihinging documentation dito at kailangan nating ihanda. Pero may ibang option pa tayo, yung tinatawag nating private associations. So, Alessandro, can you tell us and describe a bit on the private side of the assistance that Filipinos can get?
Yes, I will just talk about financial support. About other kind of support, more material like food distribution, I will let Charlie explain. He knows much better than me, okay? I just talk about what kind of financial support is it possible to find now with the association. Recently, the Geneva Parliament voted a special credit of 12 millions of francs for the association and the association can help people to pay the rent of the place where they live. Okay? There are 6 associations where people can go. It's Caritas, Centre Social Protestant, Red Cross. This is for everybody. Then there is Centre de Contact Suisse Immigré for who have already a file there. It means for family with children with no permit, usually. And then there is SOS Femmes and Aspasi for sex workers. So all these associations can give to people a financial support. There is different criteria, but you don't need to have a permit. And even who is on process can ask this help. Because being on process, even if theoretically you have the right to ask support from Hospice General, but in fact, it's very difficult. So don't hesitate, go to see them. Then you talk with them and they will explain you how to do. But it's still possible, and concretely there is still money. Okay. The only problem is that there is so many people calling that you have to try a lot of time. It's true the access is difficult, but it's difficult because there are so many people calling, not because they are not doing their job.
Okay.
Okay, so I mean that's a lot of options. Before I call Roddy, just to complete the picture, if Charlie is still with us, let me just check. Yeah, Charlie is still
Yes, I'm here.
You would like to share with us on the material or food assistance?
Okay. First of all, I want to reiterate that the food distribution sites are safe. Okay. They've always been safe. Nothing has changed despite the hysteria, which the whole tempête, the whole thing going on in social media. At any rate, to cut this short, to give you the most important information is if you have any questions about food distribution, or if you're afraid of being caught or something, please contact me one way or the other. The phone number, my professional phone number has been circulating around. It starts with 077, so most people know about it. Through Booklet Quebec, through the Caravan website, through the ASLPP, contact me and I will give you basically the facts, because not only am I co-organizing that with a team, I'm actually physically there. And one other guarantee I can give you as a person, but also as a representative of an organization called Colis du Coeur Distributing, is if there is a real danger of you getting caught while getting your food bags, we will react. For example, shutting down the Tonne food distribution site, although nothing happened during that food distribution Tonne, just that the fact that we were near the border, and it has become unacceptable to us to even put somebody in the slightest danger of being caught. So again, there were controls, but they were before the distribution, never during any kind of distribution. And the other thing is we are prime position to know if somebody's in danger, because there are hundreds, if not thousands of people coming to these distributions. And we ask them all the time, have you been checked coming here? And if there's just 3 of them saying yes, we will question our whole distribution. So if the distribution is still going on, you can rely on the fact that most probably it's safe. Okay. If anything changes, I'm the first one who's going to tell you. So that's related to a second item I want to stress again. Beware of social media postings, because unluckily, even activists get it wrong, or let's just put it this way, they're not very, the factual truth is not as important to them as it should be, let's put it that way. And unluckily, there are no consequences. You can just take away the post and say, oh, I'm sorry, what's wrong? But then it gets reposted and exaggerated by other people. And unluckily, I also see that amongst the Filipino community, a very light example, one article in a newspaper has been posted on a Facebook wall, and somebody else posts the same thing again and again and again. So it looks like there are a lot of arrests, checks, but it's actually the same article, once from posted via 20 Minutes, the other one, another instance, RTS, but it's the same wording, the same text. So please pay attention to that. Do not post the same thing again and again. And unluckily, this kind of fear mongering apparently is serving a lot of people. All of a sudden, there are a lot of experts again. For a while, it was pretty calm. Now they're all coming out of the woodworks again. Oh, we know about this. Again, this is to underline what Alessandro and other people have been saying. Go to these associations like CSSI, SEAT, or Alessandro's organization. Okay, do not go to anybody else, not even us in Bukod Kabayan. This is my point of view, but I think it's the majority of Bukod Kabayan. We're just here to bring you to the people who are actually experts in these cases, because even during this panel discussion, you've heard stuff which are half true, and Alessandro had to intervene and say, it's correct, but most of the time it doesn't end up that way. So to me, go straight to the experts. We in Bukod Kabayan and other Filipino activists, we will help you to reach those experts, because that's a big help already. Because as you heard, it's very hard to get in touch with them. Okay, because of this 12 million, the associations you just heard of are very, very busy. So now to a more pragmatic effect of Caritas, as we said, Croix Rouge, Centre Social Protestant, CSP. I asked them, are you capable of accepting new people? Because we have the same problem with food distribution. Remember, we do not give these attestations ourselves. The professional work is left with those big guys, Croix Rouge, Caritas. They say, this is what they told me just last week, when it comes to renewal, we are capable of mastering the influx, but we are not capable of accepting new people. So if you need food distribution, you better go to the other associations, like EPER is not part of the list of the 12 million recipients, and so on. If you want to know who belongs to this list, Alessandro can give you one, I can give you one, Bukod Kabayan can give you one. Just ask for it. If you are a new, what we call in French, primo arrivant, a first-timer seeking this help, your chances are not very high to get through at Caritas, CSP, and Croix Rouge right now. Go to the other ones. So, and one last point, because I haven't intervened from the start, a lot what Alessandro said about the regularization procedures, they're not new, in the sense that he said the same thing already at the last Bukod Kabayan town meeting. I'm not saying this to discredit at all what has been said. The contrary, it is to assure people it's not something new again and again and again, and then I don't know what's going on. It's absolutely the same criteria still. Okay, it's pretty stable. So if you participated in our last town hall meeting, 99% of what Alessandro said there is still valid today. So because of the fear and the paranoia reigning right now in social media, you might think that these criteria now are brand new and harder than before. They are not. They're basically absolutely the same stuff.
Okay, so thank you. And then I call on Roddy, and then we have a typed-in question here as well that we have to entertain.
Okay, those we know asking for financial help, they said there's too much work. Anywhere you ask for financial help, you will be asked your revenue and your expenses. So if you're planning to do that, you better list them already rather than having to go back. Hospice General, you can also go to them for information. Okay, they have this book, La Clé, okay, and they have also a website where there are about 7,000 organizations on different categories that can help you for a particular question. About insurance, and this is not directly related to the papyrus, but a message we keep on saying to our kababayans, lalo na yung mga bagong dating. No? When they are not well, they are afraid to go to a doctor or to the hospital because they think they might be reported. Go to the hospital, to the emergency. They will ask you if you have permit, if you have insurance. But even if you don't have, they will treat you first, okay? And they will not, they have no connection with the police. They will not be reported to the police. And each of the department in the hospital cantonal has an assistant social who can help you with respect to the payment, whether you have ability payments and all that. So if you are not well, okay, go to the hospital, whether you have permit or not. Going back to the Hospice General, for example, I've heard about that there is a check de formation of about 750 Swiss francs a year that you can apply for. I do not know the details. It's the Cité de Métier which is responsible for that, and I've been trying to contact them, and as usual, not so easy. But there are those other possibilities. Red Cross. If somebody really wants to go home now, okay, for good, so to speak, and they don't have a permit, and they are afraid that they might be checked at the immigration, they can go to Red Cross. And Red Cross can accompany them, they can help them. And in some cases, not all, they might even give you some amount as an investment to start a business, okay? But at least you can be sure that there will be somebody who will go with you through immigration so nothing happens to you. Finally, for those who are now with AVS and retired or LAI, those invalid person, okay? If the revenue that you get from AVS or LAI is not enough to support a certain level of living, okay, they determine this. You can go to the Service Prestation Complementaire, okay, and you have a form to fill out. But if you are qualified, then you can get additional pension from them if you are qualified, if you meet the requirement. So there are these other possibilities, okay, that we can go to with respect to financial and information help. So especially
Thus, can I add something to what he just said?
mhm.
Yeah, can you wrap up, Rodi, and then I will call Charlie,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
we go to Raymond. Yeah.
Yeah, and then on the and it's already provided before in our papyrus that if you have questions about insurance, or somebody or an insurance company does not want to give you an insurance policy because you have no permit, there's a service the assurance maladie, SAM, okay, but they have a different way. You go there, you fill up a form, give the form, and then they will contact you, okay, and it might take some time, but whatever it is, again, the same conclusion. If you have a problem, you don't know what to do, go to the organizations that have been mentioned before, and they can help you because they have collection of information and experience of what can be done. Thank you.
Okay, Charlie, addition to Rodi, and then we go
Yes.
to Raymond for the last intervention.
Yeah, 2 or 3 things I forgot where you can get help, and in addition to Rodi. So I'll start with addition to Rodi. The Hospice General, as everybody has been said correctly, is for people who have permits. And normally, if you receive some sort of help from Hospice General already, you don't get the other extra helps you might get from Caritas. But in my experience, and we've seen hundreds of them at Politica food distribution, it's not that clear cut. So still try it, because these are human beings. You're case officers, and like Rodi said, depending if your help, for example, AVS or AI, just doesn't cut it, there are some officers who give you still food stamps, food attestations, rent attestations, and so on. So try. Second, the stuff I forgot, there is a Bureau Social now at Rue de Minoterie from the canton and city of Geneva, which is basically what I and the Caravan have been doing, a lot of other people. It's just putting everything together. The expertise we got from working together at Vernet, the hospitals, the associations, Hospice General, Caravan, Politica, all working together. It's a one-stop shop, basically. So everything what Rodi and I and everybody said, if you have different problems, all concurring at the same time, which is very often the case, go to this Bureau Social at the Rue de l'Identité. There is also a Pôle Social, basically the same thing, every second week during the food distributions, anywhere we're distributing food around 5 o'clock. It varies from site, but if you go around 5 o'clock, you will have the Pôle Social, and it's basically social information, okay? And it's next week again, and it's every 14 days, every 2 weeks. And the third thing is from the Caravane de Solidarité at Pâques, we opened an office which will basically do the same thing, just give you information and bring you to Alessandro or to SEAT or to ASLPP. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. I'm also part of an organization called ASLPP, which is Association pour la sauvegarde du logement des personnes précaires. In short, we are trying to keep you in your apartments so that you don't get evicted. But even if you get evicted, we're still helping you, like the guys in the Rue Royaume 8 whose building got burnt down. So you can also come to me or go to the website of ASLPP or the number, and they will help you because they have a whole army of rent lawyers from Asloca behind them. So that's very useful to know if your problem is rent related. That's all.
Okay, so I mean, we are really short of time now. So quickly, Raymond, and then I will just take note of the type-in question.
Yes. Additional information regarding social aid by Caritas, for example, the maximum help, and this is a one-time payment only, it's 1,000 francs. If you have, for example, 1,200 and you have a rent of 400, they will not help you for the rent. But if you have bills, medical bills that you didn't pay at least for 3 months, then they might help you for the payment of the medical bills. They will never help you for you to pay the phone bills, for example. If you are late payment with your phone, no way. Okay, so it's 1,000 francs, and that is the maximum amount that they can give. And you cannot go to other associations if you have already got a help from Caritas or CSP or whatever. But then, Alessandro, you know, the only problem with us, for the Filipino community, it's the language barrier. Because, for example, Caritas, no one can speak English. So, in that case, you better. We would like to encourage you we would like to encourage you to call, you know, EPER, because there's a Filipina now who can help you and can assist you, right? Thank you.
Sorry, Raymond,
Okay,
that's not
good.
true. There are people who speak English in Caritas. I talk with them in English.
Okay, but probably when I called, they can only speak in French. So yeah.
Fine, I'm just telling you, there are people who know English.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we can imagine Caritas would have English speaking in Geneva setting, which is a very international city. So there are two questions here in the chat box. One goes directly to Alessandro, while the other issue is more general because it's about AVS. But let's start with the more precise question to Alessandro. I'll just read it here. I have a friend who got a lawyer, I assume that's a private lawyer, to help her get visa to visit vacation to the Philippines, but was rejected and received a sortie letter instead. Is there any chance she can get help to solve this problem from this group? Alessandro, as a worst case scenario with a private lawyer.
Typically a kind of case I talked about before, that some private lawyer present bad application just to get a return visa, and then they put the people in very difficult situation. Just tell them, I don't know if there is something to do or not. I must see what is the official answer of the Office Cantonal de la Population. Usually there is always a 30 days times to do an appeal against the decision, but I don't know if they're already gone or not. The best thing is that they contact me directly as soon as possible, and we'll check if there is something to do or not, because every situation is quite different.
Okay, Heidi, just tell your friend to contact Alessandro directly. Okay, I mean, I don't know if you will answer this, Alessandro or Rodi. It's about ABS. The question is, if we plan to go back home from our to our home country, do we get or receive the revenue refund from ABS upon exit? Upon exit? Let's say we are almost 5 years here of paying the ABS. I don't know if anyone can take that question. Alessandro?
Alors, I don't, it depends. In any case, this money is not lost, but it depends if there is an agreement between Swiss government and Filipino government. I don't
There
know
is.
how. There
There
is?
is.
There is.
There is.
We have a bilateral agreement on that, but it was not as long as with other countries. Maybe 5 or years, but we have that bilateral agreement. But is the person being referred to going home permanently or just going on vacation? Because if going on vacation, I would not suggest that he takes it.
I think the
Especially if it's only
question is
5
more
years.
going home permanently
Yeah.
because
No,
you don't withdraw from Social
there is.
Security
Yeah, we have a
during
bilateral
holidays.
agreement with Switzerland, so yes, it's possible.
Alors,
And
Yeah.
again, go to those organization, and in that particular question, they can contact me, and I can direct them to somebody who can help that in that connection, or the Philippine consulate.
Yeah.
They should be
Okay,
able to help
Grace,
that.
that's a good lead for you, for your friend on that. There's a
Those,
follow-up question just now.
okay.
Do immigration police raids, do immigration police raid the people who have received sortie letter? I don't know if raid might be too much, but I think the question is, if you get a sortie letter, Alessandro, is it like an axe falling into you that you will be raided?
in any case, the police don't come to take you at your home. Okay. Okay. I repeat, even if you receive a carte de sortie and an interdiction of entrance, then the decision will be transmitted to Office Cantonal de la Population. It will take weeks, maybe months. Then, even after the decision of the Office Cantonal de la Population, we can make an appeal. We can try to present an application. It depends of the situation, and it can take years and years. In any case, there is no danger till now. Maybe it will change. I don't know, but really, till now, the police never come home to take people to make deportation, even if there is a second or a third control.
Okay,
especially at this time of COVID. You don't want to get in touch with other people.
Yeah. Okay, it's 6 o'clock, my friends. But there's just a quick question here before we leave this meeting and let Alejandro spend the rest of his Sunday. What if I have a permit from Italy and I don't have, of course, for Swiss, and I get control? What happens to me?
Alors,
Alessandro.
for who have a valid permit from
Yeah,
another
valid
European country, have the right to be here. So in case of control,
Okay.
that's right. You can show that, and theoretically have the right to be here. But be careful with the border police, because they can check more far away. They can ask, but okay, but how can you prove me that you are here only since 3 months? Are you not working here? Where are you
Yeah.
living? And things like that. Okay. And then the other problem is that they can check because they have access on the SES, which is the informatic Schengen system, and they can check wherever come from this permit, and if it's valid or not, if it's a true one or not. But it's true that if you have, for example, Italian permit, you can show that to the lawyer, but you just say that you come to visit someone. And it's better to have one address ready with someone with permit here, not to put these people in danger. I just come to visit some family, some friends, that's all.
But if you are discovered to be working,
the permit from other countries like Italy gives you the permission to stay here for up to 3 months, but it is not a right to work here.
Mm.
Okay, so you have to be
Yeah,
very
yeah,
careful.
that's quite clear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alessandro mentioned that. And just to point out, what happens if you are caught working?
Can be a problem
Alessandro.
because they can denounce you to the Italian
Aha.
authority.
Okay. So anyway, of course, there are lots
Toss,
of
two more
interrelated
things for because
issues.
it's health. Can I
Yeah.
say two more things? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just very short. What Nikki said was true about Caritas and the others. The financial help is limited, but I want to stress out that Caravane de Solidarité, if you need a bridge, a help between, let's say, the help of Caritas and your job, and it's just a month or two, we are capable of helping you financially for that cases. We will not pay your rent for half a year, but if there's a gap of a month or a month and a half, we've been doing this already. You can come to us, we'll examine your dossier, and if you can prove that it's just a question of another month or 1 month and a half of help needed, then we might very well help you financially for that. Second, within the Caravane de Solidarité, we're creating a subgroup called Domicile Solidaire, and the main aim there is to rent entire apartments and to give that to our kababayans or other people in need. We're ironing out the legal aspects of it because, as you can imagine, it is a very gray zone. We're entering there, but we're willing to enter this zone. And once we have the legal framework, we will be able to offer that too.
Yeah. Okay, friends.
One more time.
Very quickly, I know we're
Wait,
closing.
Rodi.
Yeah.
Alessandro first because he's our
Okay.
speaker, and then I call you.
I forget
Okay.
to precise that about what we call private help from association, which is given by this association. There is no problem related with application of permit, okay? Because it's private. It's not considered from the help. So it's not a problem like, for example, subside assurance maladie or allocation familiale. All these kind of help are not a problem. And one last thing about private help, there will be votation on 7 March here in Geneva about another law which called Loi sur les indemnisations, indemnization law. If it will be accepted, if we win, at this case, it will be one more financial support that will be possible for people. In this case, we will make a new update to explain how it will go, because it's a quite important new support. But we don't know if we will win or not on the 7th of March.
So, sinasabi lang ni Alessandro na yung mga private support na pwede nyo makuha, ito ay walang relasyon sa usapin ng permit. So, wag po tayong nervisin at i-maximize natin yung mga available based dun sa policy na ini-employ ng mga organizations or associations na tumutulong sa atin. Okay, final round, Rodi, and then I will close the meeting.
Okay, just to clarify that point na which Alessandro also mentioned, you can get what you might be considered from the government, like allocation familial, but that is not an aid. It is a matter of right, so that doesn't count against you. Another point, okay, the process if anything happens, let's say about you're being evicted or the regime wants you to be out, there is, in any of the situation, there's an appeal process and it takes time. Okay, for example, an appeal about your accommodation can take 6 to 9 months. Okay, and then an appeal that was mentioned by Alessandro about when you get the sortie, contact them and they will make an appeal. And for as long as you have a case here, you're not going to be thrown out. Okay. And lastly, for those who are, for those who are living in the city of Geneva, meaning your NPA postal code is 1201 to 1209, that means your city of Geneva. City of Geneva has a special pension that they can give of 195 francs for those who are qualified. Okay, but that's available. Lastly, when you hear about these things about possibility, our kababayan, don't disqualify yourself. Let them say no, but don't say I will not because I don't think I'm qualified. You know, but and especially if you go through this permanongs or the advisors that we have been counseling you, don't disqualify yourself. And that is true if you're applying for a job, if you're doing anything, you know, don't be hesitate to try. You know, you try, you fail, you try again, but you never really fail until you fail to try again. Thank you.
Okay, Alessandro, thank you very much. Do you want to make your closing statement?
Saan daw niyo siya bibigyan ng pagkain?
No, just thank you. One more time, we are here. So just come to, don't come directly because due to the COVID, you have to call us before, but call us for any question of any process.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And of course, thank you for those who contributed from the floor and for those who participated in this meeting. There are a lot of information. If I have to wrap up, it's another meeting. No? But I think it's quite crucial just to focus that, of course, there are controls happening now. Of course, it's important that you report the controls also to the associations so we get a sense of how big is the problem. If you experience control, you have 4 basic rights. You have the right to call, you have the right to a lawyer, you have the right to be silent, and you have a right for interpretation. And of course, also, there are no immediate deportation because everything here is a process. So I will just highlight that as a closing point for this. And of course, we realize there are so many interrelated issues that some of the issues that have come up would even require a separate town hall meeting for our community. So I think it's something that Buklod Kabayan will have to look at, what will be the priority issues that it can work on and facilitate this kind of exchange and information. So I think in the end, this is already a 2-hour meeting. I don't think many of our kababayan will sit for 2 hours to get all the information. So maybe we should try to think about how to make the information focused, digestible, or easily available in a more popular form. That's something Buklod Kabayan will have to check on what are the possibilities. But I think in the end, Buklod Kabayan can only point you to the help or to the sources of additional information. This is our primary task because indeed out there are people who can help. There are organizations, trade unions, NGOs that can help you in all the issues that we have discussed this afternoon. So again, on behalf of Buklod Kabayan, thank you very much to everyone. Thank you very much, Alessandro. And keep safe and have a good evening. Thank you.
Maraming
to you
salamat
all.
din, Tos. And
Thank you, Tos.
po Alessandro and Charlie.
Thanks,
Right.
Tos. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Tos, can you say